Heifer International.
Thank you. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. I'm delighted to be here this morning, and thank you for inviting us to this important event for the launching of the movement for community development. And what I'd like to do just to share with you some of the work that Heifer International has been doing in this regard. So for those of you who are not familiar with Heifer International, it was started by a farmer from the Midwest. His name is Dan West, and who decided in 1944 that he wanted to go to Europe and help in rebuilding Europe after the post-war, and he decided that the best way to do that is to get some of his friends and to put some cows on ships and get some volunteers to go and take these cows to these areas. So that's how we started, and 7 years later we're still here doing some of our work, helping people in need and providing assistance to more than 1 million families every year through training, through asset transfer, and through collective action. We have a goal at Heifer by the year 2020. We want to reach 4 million families and lead them out of poverty. And not only lead them out of poverty, but also help them secure living income. So this is our goal that we're trying to achieve. Our approach to community-led development is really based on what we call at Heifer value-based holistic community development, or an acronym VHCD model, which Heifer has been implementing for the past 10 years. So really it's a bottom-up approach to mobilizing marginalized communities to come together towards achieving a common goal. By focusing on communities that have significant need for development, rather than for individual, Heifer can ensure that every community member has access to and can benefit from our interventions. Communities are, the way we do it is we organize communities around shared values, a commitment to justice, self-reliance, and respect and support for the role of women in the communities. Because we have noticed that most of these rural communities, most of work is done by women, but they don't have power over what the communities want to achieve, or if they are developing or they're generating funds, they don't even have control over what these funds are used for. So the role of women here is very important. We believe that empowered communities will make better decisions of their inherent strength and will have a stronger negotiating power, especially if we are dealing with governments. So by coming together, they can negotiate what their local authorities are taking decisions on their behalf. We also believe that community members can better address their personal and social needs and become agents of change, not only in their communities, but also in other neighboring communities, which we call the spillover effect. Perhaps the most important pillar of our model, the VHC model, is organizing the smallholder farmers in what we call self-help groups and training them on Heifer's 12 cornerstones for justice and sustainable development. So I won't talk about all the cornerstones that we implement, but I'll talk about 3 of them. So these cornerstones, what we're trying to do is help them become part of the participants' day-to-day life. So we ensure that the benefits of the project doesn't end when Heifer leaves those communities. One of those important cornerstones is group savings and interlending. So this is not unique to Heifer. A lot of organizations are doing that. But what we like to focus is not only on the lending part, but on having those funds used for planning development activities that the entire community can benefit from. Also, the second cornerstone I would like to emphasize on is leadership. So personal leadership development training that we do teaches the group members about what it means to be a leader. So each group will begin to realize his or her personal potential as a leader. They reflect on effects of their attitudes and behaviors on their communities and develop plans for personal growth. And the last one I wanted to mention is, I think it's unique to Heifer, is what we call passing on the gift. And maybe some of you who receive the catalog of Heifer knows what that is. So basically what that is we give the opportunity to the families who benefit from Heifer interventions is to give back to their communities. And this can be done in different ways. Some of them do it by giving other families livestock, maybe seeds, or even sometimes the skills and knowledge they acquire from the training that we give them and pass them on to other families in their community. Just to mention very briefly that we have done a research case study that was done by the Clinton School of Public Affairs at the University of Arkansas, just to measure what our interventions in the area of social capitals can do based on communities that we are working in, what we call a Heifer village, and other communities that are not receiving such interventions. So we found out that in this study that was done 3 years after the project ended, is that strong social capital formation among beneficiaries when compared to the total network, and more profoundly when compared to the control group. And also we realized that there are strong social capital in some areas, even areas where we did not have beneficiaries. And that tells us that other people in the communities are really seeing the good work, and they're trying to replicate what other Heifer families in the communities are doing. So I just wanted to say that finally that we are fortunate in a way at Heifer to be able to do community-led development, for the simple reason is that the majority of our funding really comes from individual donors. But to really scale up this work, we really need the interventions of bilateral and multilateral donors to really buy into the community-led development work. And we look for MCC and other organizations to really help us achieve that objective. And I would like to say, as we have a saying at Heifer, that if we all work together, we can make cows fly. So thank you very much.